So hi everybody and welcome back to Unreal Engine 5 full game tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 88 and in this video we continue with our explosion. There are some errors which I have to fix and show you, and let's get started. First of all, we go to our place where we implemented our line trace for our pistol. In my case, that's this one. That was what we created in our last video. And there is one problem. And what is the problem? The problem is you can shot again the tubes and it causes again an explosion at the same time, and that we don't want. How to avoid this? Normally we would avoid this with very simple with a do once node, because it means you do execute this line of code only one time. That would be the normal thing, but the point is this do once node is not working with a sequence. So I tested it, even it says here do once, it is anyhow not working with that. So instead of using the do once node, we make the old way. The old way means just creating a Boolean variable. So you just go here, create a variable, whatever you want, and important is that it must be a Boolean variable. So I called it, for example, in my case, do once bool, and then here Boolean. After you created this one, compile it, and then you can set this, for example, here the default value you have to set then to whatever you like. In my case, it's true, so I have to tick this, which means when I use it and then I grab this bool value here, then I make a branch or just make here B, connect this, and you can see at the start it should be use the true value here. So in my case, this one here, and then you connect this one, and which means when you call it first time, because it's true, it will go through. And now I want only that this explosion happens one time, which means I have just to set at the end of this one, after this explodes, so in my case explode tubes, here is the function. After this one I set it to false, so I grab this value which I just created again. This time I use the set, I connect this, and this time unchecked, which means false. And oops, sorry. And that means when this line comes here again, it will set to false. You can see it's only executed one time. And you can see the whole thing what we did is the same thing what normally this do once node do. But strange things happen in the sequence, it's not working, and that's why this way. All right, then let's go one step further. And in this video I want to show you something what I can't do here step by step, which is again a designer job. And the designer job is, you can see I spawn here let me show it what I mean before I talk too much. Play from here. Let's see if I find this. So you can see so far we have made it right. So I make here the pistol, here this tentacle goes out, I grab here the stone, I throw it here to this place, and now this one will go there, and then it comes up. And the next thing what I want to do is, when I shot this one, we have already created here this shot, I want to make there a hole or anything in the dead tentacles, and like something like this. So you can see in this one here you have I will do offline, because you can see now, resume game, I have created here a hole. Then I need an animation again, or not an animation really, but perhaps we use an animation or just that, or we make it just that so we can skip the animation part, so that the tentacle is lying, or the worm is lying here dead in this hole. And yeah, and this is again, like I said, more a designer job which you can make. And how I make this I will show you. There are different ways. The way I made it is just simply make a hole. You can see, let me show you what I made. So first of all, I switched here to the modeling, not modeling, sorry, to landscape. I switched to landscape, and in landscape you can of course change the landscape like you want. We know this, right? So you can make here, when I press here, a hill or something like that, or when I press shift it goes down. Okay, let's make this a little bit stronger. here the strength gets faster. So you can see now I make here a hole, right? And later you make something like this where when it explodes, so that was the first thing what I made, and later you can put in some rocks here and all this kind of stuff and make it very nice like you want. And when the tubes here explode, then you just spawn a dead worm here if the worm was here. This is the first thing, but I will not make it here. This is just the idea. There is a second thing what you can do. What many people use is instead of making a hole like me, they are just use a mask, a material mask, which means they can use this brush as well, but instead of making a hole, it is just deleting what you see here. And this kind of stuff you have also to watch on YouTube, and so there are many tutorials about that. It's again a designer job, and I myself I have to watch this as well. So the next thing is, after you have your hole, like I said, you make here a hole, then you put in perhaps some stones and all that what you need. You can make this, but there is one more part in my case. The next part is what I made is, you can see here a strange thing, plane actually. So what I made here is, and with the wrong material, but the material you have to adjust to this one. So you have to create a material as well. But first create a plane. You can see this one is just a normal plane, and I use this plane just as the new ground. And the reason for that is this plane here is actually an actor. So the difference is the landscape is not an actor which you want to replace, but this plane here is a blueprint actor, which means I can destroy it. And that's my goal, right? So I take here later, let me play here.
Let's see if I
So what I do is I take here the weapon. Oops. And when I blow this up, this blueprint plane I can destroy, and you see later just the hole here, and that's our goal. Of course you have to, like I said, style it right, make your rocks and all this kind of stuff, and hide it below this plane. And yeah, that's the way I do it. And you already saw there are some errors. This is the ordering error, which we have to handle as well. But right now I want only say this kind of stuff you can do, and this is one way to create holes or a cave. And this is the thing what we will do, what I will do offline, is creating holes. You can see this one was just for test purposes to show you what I'm going to do. And that takes, this designer jobs takes all time, much time, because I'm bad. I mean, I'm very slow. That means I have to watch tutorials myself and then follow them to make something nice. But I hope you are good. And then we have to create, like I said, the right material. I just added here a plane with a material and make this plane a blueprint. And yeah, the next thing is what I want to do here is also add, of course, how we die. That is more the thing what we will do in the next videos.
Let's see if I
after
find
this thing, for example, something like that. I press here. You can see we make here this. You died. Something, and while we're dying, perhaps this tentacle get us. We make here an animation how the tentacle is destroying us, not just to say you died. We make anything like in a little bit camera animation or something like that when the tentacle is getting us and we're dying. Something like that we will do as well in the future. And of course we have here handled the errors, because when you call all the steps, they must be in a certain arrow, which means we have to set constraints. Constraints means here, if for example, here, let me show you this one as well. This is the thing what we have to do.
Find this cultist.
You can see right now I can shot here and it blows up, right? But right now the Kraken was not here. That would be a constraint. First I can shot here. Oh, by the way, that's not right, sorry. You can shot here without the Kraken, but the point is we have to check here our settings. So when I quit this, you can see I have here errors because I made it so that I call anyhow these tentacles and so. And yeah, there are some strains which I will constraints and conditions and all this kind of stuff which I want to show you too. But the important part is here, I think this little designer part you should make, that looks cool later for our test. And that's almost the death of the tentacle, which is also leads to our end of the game. If we kill the tentacle and the worm, we will win the game. Or like I said, if we can't kill it, there's a worm will kill us probably. That leads also to end of the game, but we lose the game, of course. And yeah, that's it for this video. So that's your job. Try to do this, and we will do also a little bit other things. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions like all time, write into the comment section. And see you in the next video. And again, one tip, it was the other way to do it is with the mask layer, landscape mask layer. If you search this on YouTube, instead of making a hole like me, you can just delete here this part with a mask, and then you have still to form it a little bit, but yeah, that will still work. All right, with that said, I stop here. Bye, good luck, and have fun.